In this video, we're going to go over checking your data quality and some of the tools you can use to facilitate this. One of the first tools we introduced into Shōgun is the time bar heat map. This is located right below the time bar. This is split into two sections. The top section deals with unlabeled markers, where the bottom section deals with solving constraints. The longer this is yellow, the longer the problem exists, where the more red these turn, the more markers have issues. Something else you can do here is you can actually turn this heat map on and off. And you can change which prop or actor displays in the heat map. Or I can show all of them at the same time. I tend to use one actor at a time or a prop at a time. This is really useful because if I look at this heat map, if I double click, it will select that frame, highlight the marker to show me which one has gaps. So right now I can see that my two front shoulders have gaps. This is really useful for really quick gap filling or figuring out where you might have problems. The next tool that I tend to use is the data health view. So if I split my windows, go to my view types and show data health, here I can see all of the markers for that character or prop, and I can see what gaps are there. So my left inner elbow is gone for this beginning portion, or this section. Now, if I want to see my prop, if I open up my labeling panel underneath my processing tab, I can change which subject is shown. Some other things you can do here is you can change the clip type, or which clip you're seeing, sorry. You can change if you're going to see all of the markers, which is going to show you a whole bunch of unlabeled markers potentially, or the individual, the one person you have selected markers. I tend to use this view instead of the other because the all markers tends to show all these unlabeled trajectories that make no sense and don't really help me out. Now, the next view type that I tend to use is the graph view. So if I split my window one more time and change the view to graph, you can actually see right now that it has selected the ranges that are shown in this window. Now, in this data health tab, if I go ahead and double click this gap right here, you can see that it has selected this range here. And now in the graph view, you can see that range. So let me just get in my 3D perspective. It's another really cool feature of the data health tab that where you double click a gap, it actually will select the whole range, making it much easier to gap fill that section. Now you saw me do a couple other things, and one of them was changing my view, how close my zoom is, my view type. So right here I have close, medium, and far. These are pre-selected values to show how far away from the graph you are. So here's far, which is still pretty useful. There's medium, and here is close. I think for this one I'll stick with medium. A couple other things you can do here are change what you see. So if you don't want to do a single viewpoint, if you want to do a collapsed or separate views, or if you want to do collapsed views. I tend to use collapse. It gives me the most information at the same time without having to change and making sure I'm zooming in and out of the same view types. And then also you can change your clip type, or you can also show your XYZ, your channels of your current marker. So now I'm going to show you how to use all of these in conjunction to fill a gap. So I'm just going to close my labeling and open up my marker editing panel under my processing tab. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill interpolation. So let's first find a gap. Let's go with this one, left front shoulder, this gap right here. Okay, I can see that it's selected and it's highlighted the ranges. I'm going to do an interpolation fill with this. You can see I already have selected ranges put in here. If I press fill using interpolation, it's going to fill this gap given only those selected ranges. So using these tools all together make it very easy to quickly find gaps, quickly fill certain ranges on those gaps, as well as see what kind of patterns emerge with where you might have dead spots or where you might have issues with your data.